Yo, this is Rayshad Anderson at Don't Sweat It Interviews right now, and we got a special guest with us, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Especially for the people that don't really recognize her or know her. But please, for our special guest, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Carlee. I'm a senior in high school right now, and I play soccer.
Yeah, this is the easy part right here. Now, soccer. Has that always been, your first love in sports, or was there ever a different sport you was like, I'm very passionate about?
No, it's always been soccer.
Okay, and what was it that got you into soccer? Like, or who was that person that put that ball on the ground and was like, this is how I want you to kick it, and we're gonna go from there?
I think when I was little, my parents would always just put me in multiple different sports, and I just always stuck with soccer because I liked it more than the others.
Okay, and what was it about soccer that you was like, I just love this sport so much?
Well, it was more running than others because at the time I really loved running and stuff, and it was just I could make more friends that way, I guess.
So would it be in the social thing at first, and more so you looking at it as a sport? You looking at it like, hey, I get to go hang out with my girls today, or I know I'm gonna see this person at practice today.
Yeah, and I really liked actually doing it because it was very energetic, and I was a very energetic child, I think. So I moved a lot more in soccer than I did the other sports that I tried.
Right.
And I just did that more that way.
Okay, now you say your parents were the people that just put you in it and let you have fun. To this day, which parent can you still hear in the crowd over everybody else? Hey.
I recently none of them, but it's more. I feel like my dad, because he's always out there shouting at me to get going.
Right.
Or if I look over at them, it's my mom always making motions to me to tell me be more aggressive and keep going and stuff like that.
Okay, so who would you say is the more passionate, mom or dad?
Probably mom, because she actually played the sport.
Right.
So she knows a little bit more about it.
Okay, now for the people that don't know too much about soccer, please explain, because you've seen it since, like you said, younger, how I don't want to say crazy, but how intense soccer moms are.
Oh my gosh, they tend to be very intense, because a lot of the girls on my team, their moms, when the ref doesn't makes a bad call, they really get at it and scream very loud.
Right.
So they tend to be very, very intense.
Now, I've seen a couple. Well, we have all seen the movie with Will Ferrell. And has it ever been to that extent? You seen a dad out there going that far, or is it more so they're laid back?
A little more laid back. I mean, there's this one girl on my team. Her dad, at a game a couple weeks ago, he was very intense because the ref was making really bad calls, I will say, because the team was really aggressive. And the first half of the game, he was making pretty good calls. In the second half, he was just stopped. And so he was getting really at it and stuff.
Right. So now with other sports, there's always trash talking basketball. We see trash talking football. We see trash talking, and really guys are going at it. Even in female sports, they're highlighting it more.
Yeah.
Now, soccer. Is there a lot of trash talking going out there between girls, or is just more so just really intense competitive nature?
On the sidelines within my team, there's a lot of trash talking.
Okay.
And a little bit on the field, but not as much because we're into the game and more focused on actually winning and stuff.
Okay. Now you alluded to the refs just a couple minutes ago. There's abundance of clips circling on the internet. You'll see somebody, complaining to the ref about a yellow card or a red card, or you'll see somebody flop, and you oh my God, they got away. The official really got away with it. So, how do you really have to be on the ref side when you go out there, or can you still just be yourself and play the game?
I feel like a little bit of both. I can be more myself, but like if the ref like makes a bad call, then I'm like, okay, what was that? But if they make like good calls and stuff, I'm like, okay, is it pretty good ref? And but I feel like it's a little bit of both.
Okay. Now take us back a little bit. You've been playing this sport for quite some time. Explain to us or even just paint the picture for us. What was it like that first time you scored a goal?
The first time I scored a goal was for the opposite team.
Oh, man.
So it was exciting, but it wasn't for my team, so it's like, oh.
So when you kicked it in, you probably was celebrating, looking right at your teammates and mom and dad, and then you looking back like, what did I do? And they had to tell you like, oh yeah, you scored in the wrong goal.
Yeah.
So now, what's that like? Scoring now, are you a subtle person when you score, or you got a celebration, you come out and just bring the intensity? What is it like when you score now?
I get very excited when I score because I'm a defender, so I don't score as much. So I get like really loud and very excited when I score because it's not something that comes naturally to me. So it's.
Now that was a question I was gonna ask. I should have asked prior before that. Was there ever a time where you wanted to play a different position when you were growing up, or you just always been settled in this defender position?
Sophomore year of high school, I played mid for a bit, and then club season, I played mid again, and I was like, okay, mid. I really like mid. I kind of want it to be like my main position, but then after that, it was like, no, I want to go back to defense, and it's just like always been defense. Like other than that, I don't really think there's ever been a different position where I've wanted to play.
Okay, and soccer is such an intricate sport. It's not all about scoring. It's passing and assisting. So for those parents that are thinking about getting their kids in soccer, or some of the younger kids out here that are listening to this, please explain the different type of positions in soccer. It's not just all about scoring.
Yes. So defense, you're trying to obviously not let the other team score, and a lot of times you have to like kick the ball very far up so like you can go score, but it's a lot of like being very aggressive at defense, and trying to like get the ball away from them and stuff. And then midfield, you're all over the place.
Yeah.
So you have to pass in and out of people and get the ball from the defenders, pass it to the forwards, and also be kind of not so much aggressive as defense, but still like very aggressive, so it's not too like very excessive.
Yeah.
And forward you have to have. I feel like forward you have to have a lot of skill, like footwork and stuff, to be able to get around the defense and to score. And you have to have like a pretty good foot.
Yeah.
To be able to like get it into the goal. I mean, every position I feel like you have to have like a pretty good foot to like, get it around, get it up, score, and things like that.
Right.
But it's. I feel like it's mainly our positions about like the technical work and things like your footwork and your aggressiveness and stuff. And
I would say that's what makes soccer so unique of a sport, like you just said. Like you have to have a unique skill to play for it. Like your footwork has to be incredible. Your shooting has to be phenomenal. So who are some of those players that you looked up to when you were growing up?
I think it was a lot Alex Morgan. I know it's like a very popular person to like be an idol and stuff like that. But it's been Alex Morgan because she's like scores a lot and stuff. And I've always wanted to like be like her and be on the USWNT team and like that. And then a few years back, it started to be Crystal Dunlmore because she plays my position.
Right.
So it's like I can learn a lot from her and things like that. So, and then I feel like for males, it's probably like Messi.
Yeah.
Because he's when he was like born, he was like diagnosed with like this condition where he was like always been like short and stuff. And for me growing up, I was always the shortest in my grade.
Right.
Like, and I kind of relate to him because people would always tell him, like, you can't, like, do it and stuff like that. And, like, growing up, I was, like, the same way and things. So I, like, relate to him a lot. So.
I can definitely see it now. How you say you take so much passion in being defender because you kind of got like that underdog spirit. Like you come messing with me. Like I'm gonna give you the business. Oh, definitely. Now with soccer, it like we spoke off camera. It's so many different clubs, leagues. It's like at no point soccer never stops. Like So has there ever been a point where like you may have doubted yourself or you like I don't know if I want to do this anymore? Has there ever crossed a point in your life where you felt like that way?
Yeah, junior year of high school, I made varsity, and he said I had some things to work on, so I worked on it, and he was saying, like, I don't want to talk bad about him, but he was saying, like, all these things on what I could do to, like, get more playing time, and so I would do it, but I would never play, and he would get mad at the people that were in my position, but wouldn't take them out, like, and they would just keep messing up, and then we would, like, get defeated and stuff. But he would never, like, put me in or anything, even though he said I, like, would and stuff. So I feel like after, like, junior year, I was like, okay, I don't really want to play this sport anymore.
Right.
Because I was afraid that, like, I wasn't that as good enough as people said I was. And I just felt like if I keep continuing, it's just gonna be the same thing over and over with different coaches and things like that, or I'm not gonna play and stuff. So I think after that year, it was like I don't want to play anymore.
Now, like you said, you finally realized that I am actually this good.
Yeah.
So what was it? What steps did you take, or was it a certain moment you was like, and gained your confidence back? Like, I am really this good.
For gaining like my confidence back, I think it was starting in June, for my club team, we got a new coach, and he's actually Jackson College's head women's coach.
Okay.
So, I was like, okay, I got like pretty excited, like there's a chance for me. And then after this one tournament in August, he talked to me at the end of the day, and he was like, okay, I've been like really impressed with you and stuff at like our ID camp, our practices, our games and stuff. And he offered me a spot on the team. And I was like, okay, I'm actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And it built my confidence way up.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Now, I would say female sports are being highlighted like no other now. Like, finally getting the recognition, like, hey, we are good as the boys, or, we can still play on the same, in the same arenas and leagues as them and things like that. Like, for instance, watching women's soccer and they go win gold, and the fellas barely make bronze or silver, stuff like that. So, you going into collegiate level now. How do you still carry over that same confidence and work intensity or level for yourself?
I think it's a little bit like being around the girls, because we all want the same thing. Well, most of us. And then like my soccer coach right now, he likes to win, but he also like helps us like improve. And then for me, I feel like I don't know, like I've always just like wanted, like I've always said that I'm not a person that likes to win, but I really actually like am. Like I like to win.
Right.
Like, and I kind of will like do anything to like get us to win. But it's just.
How do you convey that with like some of your teammates? Like, I am being competitive like everybody else. I'm just taking it another notch. Like, do they look at you like, oh man, like she's on one today, or are they like, oh, this is typically how she is?
I feel like there's some days they're like, oh my god, like they will like congratulate me at the end and be like, you did really good and stuff. And a few years ago, they were like, oh yeah, like she was doing like really good and like congratulating me, because it's not like, this is not like a good thing, but it's not like a bad thing, because we were playing against this really good team, and I was fouling the girls too much, but then the ref blew the whistle for the game to end, and I got a yellow card after the game.
What?
Yeah, I know. And so that's like not normal for me because I'm not the person to like be that aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the game, they all like rushed over to me. It was like congratulating me and stuff because I'm not that type of person. They're, like, you were doing like really good and things like that. And all high-fiving me and stuff. So.
Okay, now when you sit and think about it now, like I'm going to the collegiate level to play. Like, is there ever a moment was like, oh, I am a little nervous. This is another step up, or you like once again having that confidence, like I know I'm here. I know I can play with the rest of these girls. Like I'm meant to be here as well.
Yeah, playing with them like wise. I'm like, yeah, I think I could do it because there's 2 girls that were on my high school team. They're on that team, and I'm like, okay, I can like play with them and stuff, and I'm like kind of at their level and things. And at the ID camp that I went to for it, I was like at the same level and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I can like do this. I can be on the team and stuff. And then I feel like the time I've doubted because throughout like trying to like get into college, I went to a camp down in Florida for a university, and a lot of the girls were like better, like way better than me, and I was like, oh, like I don't know if I can do this or like I'm not that good as I thought I would be.
Right.
But it's not so much like doubting. Like I haven't really like doubted myself lately. Like I feel like I was like, okay, I can like do this and stuff. So.
All right, now, with an athlete like yourself, is like, what type of goals do you set for yourself coming into the season? Like, do you want to be like, oh, I want to stop these, this many attacks, or I want to go out here and maybe help my team on this game? Like, what are some of the personal goals going into the year? What do they look like for you?
I feel like most of the time it's like to improve, because you can always improve in soccer and stuff.
Right.
So, like improve, help like my team win, do as much as I can to get them to win. And do my best as defense so we don't score. Because going into this season, I was like, okay, I really want to win. Like, I don't want there to be like really any games where we lose. Because since we have like a college coach, I was like, okay, we could like really improve and we could like win a lot of it and stuff. So I was like, okay, improve, help my team win, be as best as I can on defense and try not to get them to score as much stuff. Since our main goalie, she had a pretty bad foot injury during high school season.
Right.
So we have to have substitute goalies, and I'm like, okay, I really need to step it up. Like going into the season, I was like, I need to step it up because I don't know what our goalies are gonna be like and stuff. So I was like, I need to step it up in defense to really help them to like not get past me and stuff like that.
That's good. Now, when you get the high school schedule and when you get the club schedule, and you're looking at it, is there any games that you're circling like, oh, I can't wait for this one right here? Like, I cannot wait to play these girls right here.
In high school, there's 3 teams. For Western, we play our 3 like rivals are Lumen, Northwest, and Marshall.
Okay.
Lumen, because they're really good and like they always like beat us and stuff. So we're like we need to step it up and stuff. And then Northwest, we always tend to win against them, but it's always like, okay, I can't wait to play with them. Like the girls are good and stuff, and I have a friend on that team where I'm always like, okay, I can't wait to like see her and stuff because I don't really like see her anymore because she used to be on my club team, but then she just decided just to play high school. So it's always like nice to see her. And then when we play Marshall, we really step it up because we're always like, we want to win. Like they're very athletic.
Yeah.
And they always, when we played them last year and like we won and stuff. Or no, we didn't win. Marshall won, but we were like, we need to step it up because we always step it up a ton when we play Marshall. Right. Because they're very athletic, and we always want to win against them. But.
So what's the environment like when you do beat those teams?
Ooh, when we went against Lumen during junior year of high school, we were very, very happy because we won 3-0 against them. So we had like a shutout and stuff, and it was very intense. Like a lot of people showed up to that game, and it like the environment was like top like notch and stuff because we were like winning and stuff, and we kept like scoring, and so at the end of the game, we all rushed into each other because we were like, oh my gosh, we just won. We usually never win against Lumen. So it was like very.
I'm about to say, and then at what point did it hit you like, dang, we really did just beat these girls?
I think it was after like when we were over to the corner and our coach was like talking to us and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, we actually like just won that. Like it was a very happy time. So it was like.
Okay. Now, once again, you're going into the collegiate level. I'm pretty sure mom and dad have sat you down like, hey, you know, you're not by yourself, but you are away from home now, so you're kind of by yourself. Are there any nervous jitters of like, you know, being away from parents or anything like that?
I don't really like think so because I'm still like close. It's only like 20-ish minutes away from my
Right,
house.
right.
So it's like I can come home when I need to, and I know they're gonna be there for me because we're still so close. And I feel like a part of it is because I've always wanted to go out of state for college. So it's like, it's not, and I knew like I would, if I do go out of college, like they're not gonna be there and stuff. So I feel, so me just like going just there is like, it's not so much like jitters and stuff because I know I'm gonna be away. And like in the future, I might like go even further away.
Right.
So, and I know they're gonna be there because they're so close and you're gonna be there when I need them. So.
I got you. Now, who do you think is gonna cry when they drop you off?
My mom. My mom. She's a crier when it comes to like me accomplishing things, and like now that I'm senior year, she's like kind of emotional about it because it's my last year like home.
Right.
So I think my mom.
Yeah. Okay. Now, stepping into the classroom, what are you gonna be majoring in?
Nursing.
Oh, and what are your plans with that?
I either want to be a post-anesthesia care nurse or a travel nurse, cause
that's if soccer doesn't work out.
Yeah. Cause growing up, I was born with a cleft lip, so I've always been around like hospitals and like nurses and stuff, like growing up. So it's like, okay, that's something that's like cool, and like I could help with that in like the future if I like major and get a job in it and stuff. So I'm like, that's what I really want to do.
Okay, that's very nice. As you see, with women's athletes, I would say more. I mean, especially males now, they're getting better with their majors. I think women always had their head on straight. So even if they play in sports, they have always had their head on straight. But is there anything else that you're maybe nervous or excited about when it comes to college?
I think I feel like once I settle in, it's like in college, it's gonna be like, okay, I'm actually like away from home. And like I know I said like, I know I'm not gonna be nervous, but I also like, it's like gonna be like emotional, I feel like, because I'm finally gonna be away from home. I'm gonna be an adult. So it's like all these things are like setting in, or probably gonna like set in and be like, okay, I'm on my own now. I need to be like responsible and things like that.
All right. Now, you said you potentially may go to another, school out of state or stuff like that. Do you have any ideas on particularly what those colleges will be yet?
I really want to go to University of Central Florida. Or just really anywhere in Florida. But mainly UCF because my cousin lives in that area.
Right.
So I know I'm gonna be like, I have a family member down there. If I need to, I can go to them and stuff. She always tells me because she goes to a lot of like college events down in Florida. So she always tells me like what things are
Mm-hmm.
and like how like intense things and eventful things are and stuff, and I feel like it gets me like really like excited. And lately she's been telling me a lot about UCF, and I'm like, okay, that's like really really want to go after.
Okay. Now, anybody I talk to about Florida, they've
Mhm.
either vacationed there, went there maybe once or twice, and they were like, I can't find any state that's better
Right.
than that. What, was there a vacation or anytime you went down there and you was like, yep, this is home. This is gonna be my second home.
And going into 6th grade,
Oh,
me and my
Yeah.
me and my grandparents and my sibling and cousins went down to Florida after we did a whole family vacation in, it was like Tennessee or Kentucky or something like that. I don't remember. But I like really loved it down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been like a water, like beach, lake girl.
Yeah.
Like I've always been that type of girl. So I'm like, okay. When I went, every time that I go down there, I'm like, okay, this is like where I want to be and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can imagine myself being there.
Right.
So.
I'm about to say, did you go any more times after the 6th grade, or just that one time did it for you?
We went in at the end of July, this summer mainly for my college ID camp and stuff, and we just down there for like vacation, like see my cousin and stuff. And now that I'm like older and like thinking about like being an adult, going to college and stuff, and living on my own, I'm like, okay, I really really like it here.
Right.
So I'm like, this is where I want to be, and stuff like that. Like the beach, I just like love the beach and like the water and things like that. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, with you playing this sport, I would say more than half your life. You're very experienced, very skillful. Knowledge about the game is probably incredible. There's a dozen, probably millions of young ladies that are gonna come after you, even probably in the future and maybe now. What's some advice or guidance that you would give some of these younger ladies that are playing soccer now and maybe want to aspire to follow the same steps that you are in right now?
Definitely believe in yourself. If you have a moment of doubt, just think about like the good things that you've done throughout like the sport and things like that, and surround yourself with people that tell you you do good and that they're proud of you and things like that. Because I've had a few girls growing up that I played with that they're like, you're not as good as me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, that's just, you need to surround yourself more with people that tell you you do good and are very proud of you, and just practice, because I don't practice as much on my own, but definitely do it if you want to like be like grow and like go into college and things like that, and just don't really like doubt yourself. Like just be like, okay, I'm good and I know I'm good. So it's like,
okay, well, we appreciate you stopping by for the interview. We know you have a game later on, so we're gonna let you get your preparation on and get ready for the game. But we want to thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being one of our first interviewers, and we appreciate you and just wishing nothing but the best for you and your family as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All righty, thank you.
Yep.
All righty.